Just ahead on CTV News.
A trial continues today in federal court involving a former Prince George's County police officer and alleged claims of discrimination. I'm Katara Jones outside the U.S. District Courthouse in Greenbelt. I'll have all those details coming up on CTV News.
And Maryland leaders look to preserve the memories of lives lost in Prince George's County. Plus, the White House is rehiring laid-off federal workers. These stories and more on CTV News, starting now.
This is CTV News for September 24th. I'm Anaya Falcon.
And I'm Jonathan Hunter. Thanks for joining us. Day 3 of a jury trial that could possibly be a milestone case regarding police accountability continues in federal court today.
CTV's Katara Jones is outside the U.S. District Courthouse in Greenbelt with the latest.
That's right. The civil case involving a fired Prince George's County police officer continued today in Greenbelt. Now, in this case, involves the plaintiff, Muhammad Magasuba, a former county officer. He alleges that he was discriminated against for his African heritage by his former employer, the Prince George's County Police Department, and other county officers following an incident back in 2019. Now, in that incident, Magasuba was responding as a backup to a 911 call on January 23rd of 2019, where a white officer was arresting a black woman. Court documents allege that Magasuba was encouraged to change his witness narrative statement that he filled out following that incident in January. Lawyers for Magasuba say his client did not want to change his witness narrative statement to justify the use of force that was used during that 2019 arrest. Court documents allege that the defendants created a hostile work environment and retaliated against Magasuba. He was fired from the police department in 2021. Now, all of these alleged allegations happened while former police chief Hank Skowinski was still running the department. Now, today in court, Jeffrey Walden, who was Magasuba's superior at the time of the incident, says that the use of force that was used in that 2019 incident was within the department's use of force guidelines. He also says that Magasuba didn't show, quote, command presence at the time of that January 2019 arrest. Walden also says that Magasuba was recommended to attend training after that 2019 arrest. Now, the trial is expected to last between 8 to 10 days. Katara Jones, CTV News.
Thanks, Katara. Magasuba currently serves as the police chief for Capitol Heights Police Department. Court documents also reveal that the Prince George's County Police Department has denied all of the claims made by Magasuba. And buried deep in the woods of Prince George's County lies a hidden piece of Maryland's painful past.
More than 100 years ago, black boys, some as young as 5, were sent to a reform school and never made it home.
Their unmarked graves have been rediscovered, and state leaders say it's time to restore the site and honor their stories.
God of our silent tears.
A somber moment as members of Maryland's Legislative Black Caucus walked the grounds where hundreds of young black boys were laid to rest, many more than a century ago. Hidden deep in the woods of Cheltenham, the grave holds just a few weather-worn markers, a stark reminder of the boys who died while locked up at the state-run reform school.
It really just shows the lack of worth and value that were given to young black boys.
The facility was established in 1870, and records show many children were sent there for minor offenses like running away or theft. Some died of disease and neglect, others under more horrific conditions.
They had frostbite and their legs were amputated after horrible neglect.
They weren't even allowed to be children. What are you reforming them to? They were chattel, another form of chattel.
Researchers believe at least 230 graves are here, possibly more, including mass burials. Just steps away, a state veterans cemetery is carefully maintained, making the neglect of this site even more striking.
We look at it in this present day with administration trying to erase history, and we're walking amongst history right now that so many in the community still aren't even aware of.
The purpose of the visit? To bring awareness and to push for action. Lawmakers say they want the graveyard properly marked, the names and stories uncovered, and reforms to prevent future generations of youth from being denied their dignity.
And we thank you for these departed souls, these angels.
A prayer and a commitment to right the wrongs of the past.
They say this effort isn't just about preserving a burial ground, it's about confronting a dark chapter in our history.
And making sure those boys are finally given the dignity and recognition they were denied for more than a century.
And Maryland's school testing system could soon see major changes. A state advisory group that helps oversee the Maryland Comprehensive Assessment Program, or MCAP, meets again next month. According to the Baltimore Sun, they are expected to discuss complaints like the statewide exams don't match what's being taught, and they're too tough, and produce math scores that don't line up with other tests. Education leaders say they are planning to redevelop MCAP to better align with the curriculum.
State education officials say the University System of Maryland is facing trying financial times and that layoffs could be in the future. University Assistant Chancellor Jay Perman urged a legislative committee earlier this week to provide support amid federal and state funding reductions. Some schools in the system, like Coppin State, Morgan State, and the University of Maryland, say they are already feeling the impact. Perman says the university system lost $233 million in state funding alone over the last 2 fiscal years.
And meanwhile, members of the immigrant rights group CASA are urging Prince George's County school leaders to strengthen protections for students and families from immigrant enforcement. During a virtual board committee meeting, CASA staff and students spoke out about a proposed policy meant to align with Maryland's Values Act, which limits ICE activity at public schools. CASA's education director says the current draft only meets the bare minimum of state law and lacks clear plans for staff training, emergency response, and family notification if ICE shows up near a campus.
This is just the environment that we are living in. We need to make sure that all students are safe, but particularly our Black and Brown students, as we see, this increased ICE enforcement is very racially motivated. We want to make sure everybody feels safe and welcome at our schools, but truly safe.
And CASA is continuing to work with state and education leaders to make stronger policies.
Hundreds of people who were laid off by the General Services Administration have the option to go back to work. GSA announced they are looking to reinstate several people who manage the government-wide real estate portfolio. The laid-off workers have until Friday to decide whether or not they want to accept the offer. A GSA spokesperson says they have reviewed workforce actions and are making adjustments in the best interest of their customers.
And meanwhile, the White House is bringing back hundreds of federal workers who were let go under a controversial staffing policy. It was a part of what some called the Doge approach, a shakeup inspired by Elon Musk's mass firings at Twitter and echoing ideas pushed during the Trump administration. Now, many of these workers are being rehired, especially at agencies like the GSA. The move is getting mixed reaction. Some say it's a step towards stability and rooting out inefficiency, while others say it's created chaos.
Governor Westmore joined the Air National Guard to honor the 104th Fighter Squadron for their service. The governor joined them yesterday at an inactivation ceremony at Martin State Airport. The A-10 fighter jets are being sent to Michigan, which marks the end of Maryland's flying mission. Maryland's 104th Fighter Squadron is one of the nation's oldest flying units. They will now transition to serve the state's cyber mission. And you're watching CTV News. I'm Jonathan Hunter.
And I'm Anaya Falcon. Still to come, most kids eat 2 meals a day while they're at school, but what are they actually eating?
After the break, find out which schools in the county make the list for healthiest schools. Stay with us.
wish people knew that when you live in a small town like mine, it's much harder to find friends with common interests, especially ones my age. I often feel really alone.
Same here. Seems like every time we finally settle somewhere, I have to pack up and move again. By the time I make a friend, a real friend, I have to say goodbye to them.
I totally get it. I live in a big city, but it can feel just as lonely. It's tough, but it gets easier.
Honestly, I totally get what you're going through. It's nice to know that you feel the same.
You enjoyed my story. I really enjoyed your story as well.
Everyone likes rooting for their favorite team with some friends. But if you plan on drinking, don't drive. Designate a sober driver or schedule a rideshare for a safe ride home. Be the make-a-plan driver. Be the driver who saves lives.
Welcome back. It's been 5 years since the blueprint for Maryland's future became law. The blueprint is a multi-billion-dollar plan aimed at improving education in the state. Our in-depth look examines the impact the blueprint has had on education so far. Back in February of 2021, lawmakers passed the blueprint for Maryland's future. The law allocates an additional $30 billion over the first 10 years and $4 billion for every year after that. This became the largest education spending increase in Maryland's history.
And so it's really been very innovative, brought a lot of new ideas and supports and programs into our schools. So very excited about the blueprint. Donna Christie is the president of the Prince George's County Educators Association. They represent teachers in the county. With this being the 5th year the law has been in place, we wanted to know, have educators in Prince George's County seen a benefit? For Christie, she believes the answer is yes. In the first year, 25,000 students received some kind of behavioral health services through the money. 103 behavioral health workers throughout the county have been hired. 169 trained in best practices. Plus, the blueprint raises teacher salaries. Beginning in 2026, the minimum teacher salary for educators in Maryland will be $60,000. We just ratified our new contract that the blueprint definitely supported. Not only does it raise our starting salaries, it has improvements throughout our scale and for the people at the top of the scale. We decided to look at the data to see whether or not student outcomes have improved over the last couple of years. Maryland's high school graduation rates have improved just slightly. When you look at the Maryland Comprehensive Assessment Program from last school year, you can see that just over 50% of students are proficient in English language arts, which is a 5.5 percentage increase from 2021. Nationally, Maryland has seen improvements in both math and reading.
We were ranked prior to the initiation of this 40th out of 50th in the country in reading. We achieved the point last year of being 20th, so we've gone from 40 to 20th.
Ike Leggett serves as the chair of the Accountability and Implementation Board for the Blueprint. He was referring to the National Assessment of Educational Progress, which is considered the nation's report card. Maryland is ranked 20th in 4th grade reading and 39th in 4th grade math. Although it's an improvement from where Maryland used to be ranked nationally, he's still not satisfied.
At one point, Maryland was either in or right at the top 10 in the country. That's our goal, and I think that we can get there. We continue the strides that we've made thus far.
Leggett says they had some challenges at the start with COVID, so he believes that caused some operational delays in the beginning. But overall, he believes the blueprint law is being implemented successfully. Going forward, he says they need to improve on chronic absenteeism.
You can't have effective results or positive results unless kids are actually in the classroom. And given a variety of challenges that are out there, that's a problem that we have to overcome.
And when speaking to Donna Christie from the Prince George's County Educators Association, she says that's an area where they would like to see improvement as well.
And 13 PGCPS schools are now recognized as some of America's healthiest schools for 2025. The Alliance for a Healthier Generation initiative gave the title to nearly 1,200 schools nationwide for their commitment to fostering healthier environments to support students, staff, and their community's well-being. Some of the schools honored include Mount Elementary, Greenbelt Middle, and Spring Hill Lake Elementary, which was the only school from Maryland to receive the 2025 All-Star Award.
Nearly a month after an insurance coverage agreement between Johns Hopkins and United Healthcare expired, the Maryland Insurance Administration has issued a consumer advisory. Officials say policyholders of AARP plans insured by United Healthcare can receive service forms from Johns Hopkins. The update impacts nearly 60,000 patients in the Maryland area. Medicare supplemental plans sold in Maryland allow patients to visit any doctor or hospital that accepts Medicare, including the Johns Hopkins Health System. For more information, you are urged to call the Maryland Insurance Administration at 410-468-2442.
And construction on Maryland's Purple Line is now about 82% complete, with more than 70% of track laid between Prince George's and Montgomery counties. Officials say all tracks on the Prince George's side are finished and crews are moving forward to Montgomery. Still, residents and businesses are feeling both excitement and fatigue. Reportedly, many are asking, when will construction wrap up? This project is still on track to open by late 2027 through closures and disruptions continuing along the corridor.
During a press conference this afternoon, Prince George's County Police Chief George Nader says dozens of local law enforcement agencies in their region will be coming together for Blue Lights Nights. This weekend, officers were focused on community engagement, traffic enforcement, and crime prevention.
We titled it Blue Lights Nights, and it's exactly that. What we want to do is flood our communities with police officers to go out there and just have a positive influence on our communities. We have wonderful community initiatives and events that are going to be happening throughout our different prospective jurisdictions. We're looking to interact with our community, hear from our community, see what their concerns are, and just make sure we're available for them. We're having things for kids, we're having movie nights, so we're really looking for a great 2 days.
And Blue Lights Nights will be taking place this weekend from September 26th through the 27th.
And Montgomery County is canceling what would have been its second annual Hispanic Heritage Festival in Wheaton, citing safety concerns amid rising fears of federal immigration enforcement. County officials say the decision wasn't easy, but partners and nonprofits worried the event could become a target. Instead, the county will fund small celebrations in local schools, which they call trusted community spaces, to showcase Hispanic artists and performers. And still to come on CTV News, eating, texting, and rocking out to hot tunes. If you do these things in the car, listen up.
A new report is looking at distracted driving. After the break, find out what researchers say could be the key to stopping crashes. Stay with us.
My name's Stacy, I'm 57, and I was adopted in 2020.
We were adopted in 2019.
And we were adopted in 2021.
We had a house, and it sounds crazy, but it wasn't a home. The one thing that Jake and Emma brought is it became a home.
When I met Dakota, he had just turned 14.
You weren't there for the first this and the first that. I missed the first words, but we got a lot of other firsts.
Watching her say, oh my God, I cannot believe I got my license. And she's like, I passed. And I'm like, girl.
See them grow. It is.
They chose to love us. They didn't have to. They chose us. Family.
You and you.
Kids in the middle.
What I thought was a complete life was nowhere near complete. But it is now.
Learn about adopting a teen from foster care. You can't imagine the reward. Visit adoptuskids.org.
Got one of these hanging on the wall? You're qualified. One of these? You're qualified too. Love a good checklist? Qualified. 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 Yep, qualified. Because if you know how to put up anything in your home, you're qualified to save lives by installing free smoke alarms in your community. Go to soundthealarm.org to find a volunteer event near you.
A new report shows drivers using their phones are 240% more likely to be in a crash. Researchers say the key to stopping those crashes could be AI and predictive analytics. One risk assessment uses data from sensors in your car and signals on your phone to spot risky driving patterns before disaster hits. If it sees something like sudden braking or repeated swerving, it flags trouble spots, alerts crews, and may prevent crashes altogether. And Maryland is getting its props for one of the top states to be the best outlook for older adults. A recent study places the state near the top because of the strong healthcare access, financial security for retirees, and plenty of social engagement options. Older Marylanders are reporting better income, more volunteer opportunities, and staying active in organizations. On the flip side, the report notes concerns about affordability and housing costs that could complicate things for some seniors. Overall, Maryland looks like one of the places where growing older has been a better shot and better and more comfortable for seniors.
Well, next time you take a lunch break at work, why not test your luck and buy a lottery ticket? One federal worker in Prince George's County was on her lunch break back on September 8th when she decided to purchase a fast play lottery ticket. The woman, identified to the public as Sugar, initially thought her prize was $33,000. However, when she went to the lottery headquarters in Baltimore, the claims office told her the actual prize was a little over $50,000. Sugar says she plans to use the funds for a few home improvement projects, and I know that's right. It's time to let the cat out of the bag because our pet of the week is simply perfect.
Yes, say hello to Sophie, a 4-year-old black and white domestic short hair who strayed into the shelter just 3 weeks ago. This cool cat is hoping to forever leave her stray days behind.
Sophie may come in as a stray, but she's anything meowdinary. With a little love and a lap to curl on, she's ready to write the next tale of her life with you.
Was a stray. She was found as a stray, and she's been here for just about 3 weeks. She's 4 years old, and she's a black and white female. She's super friendly, so come and visit her.
And if you're ready to let Sophie be the cat's meow in your home, she and her whiskered friends are waiting for you.
That's right. You can call Animal Services at 301-780-7200.
And remember, your next possum friend could just be one adoption away.
And Simon Bugs is here with our Wednesday sports page.
That's right. And I hear he's talking about the Terps basketball. What's going on, Simon?
Hey everyone, and coming right up, the UMD men's basketball team gets a commitment from one of the best players in the country. Find out who after the break.
We grew up together. We believed in something bigger than ourselves. The military took me to one side of the world and her to the other. And even though she was always the strong one, when we caught up years later, I found out she had fallen on some hard times. It was her call to make, but doing it together made all the difference.
When I see homeless vets on my route, I always think to myself, we both swore an oath to protect our way of life, to protect our community. With VA's hotline for homeless vets, I can get them connected with help to get them back on their feet again.
VA's round-the-clock hotline can put veterans who are homeless in touch with the resources and support they earned through their military service. You have the power to help a veteran facing homelessness. Go to va.gov/homeless to print your wallet cards. For veterans who are homeless or on the brink of homelessness, call 877-424-3838.
My opponent is completely disregarding almost half of my arguments which I respond to.
Communities must step up.
Laws
and
alone
protest
cannot
against this
stop the
normalizing.
bullying.
Well, I completely disagree.
Point of inquiry, do you guys even realize that the #1 killer of children and teens are gun injuries?
You're probably starting to realize now, this is not a debate.
There is no adult in this earth that wants children to die.
I worry for my kids.
Okay, CTV sports family, y'all know what time it is. Let's get straight to it. We start with some news out of College Park as the Terps men's basketball team has landed another big-time recruit as 4-star forward Adama Tambado has committed to playing for the Terps. The Massachusetts native currently attends Putnam Science Academy in Connecticut and is described as a physical interior presence. In the 2025 AAU season, the 6'8" big man put up 16 points, 11 boards, and almost 3 blocks a game. Head coach Buzz Williams continues to do a good job of planning for the future as Tom Badeau is the second commit of the 2026 class behind Texas native Austin Brown. Meanwhile, over in Charm City, congratulations to Baltimore Orioles pitcher Trevor Rogers for being named the team's most valuable player. The Birds acquired Rogers at the trade deadline last season from the Miami Marlins. And this season for the Orange and Black, the lefty made history for being the club's only starting pitcher to allow 2 or fewer runs in 15 consecutive outings. The 27-year-old's 1.35 ERA is also the best in Orioles history. Rogers and the rest of the team will take diamond again versus the Tampa Bay Rays tonight at 6:35. In other news, the injury bug continues to bite my Washington Commanders as wide receiver Terry McLaurin is dealing with a quad injury that makes his status uncertain for the team's game against the Atlanta Falcons on Sunday. The two-time Pro Bowler sustained the injury in the team's win against the Las Vegas Raiders this past Sunday. The Ohio State product is currently looking to get a second opinion on the injury. And I know I speak for all Commanders fans when I say you can't be serious right now. First Austin Eckler and Dietrich Wise, then Jaden Daniels, after that Will Harris, and now Terry. I mean, dang, man. The Falcons and Commanders will kick off at 1 o'clock. And that wraps up your Wednesday sports page. Simon Bucks, CTV Sports.
Thanks, Simon. Now let's get a look at your 3-day weather forecast. Tonight we have a chance of showers and thunderstorms, so keep your umbrellas handy. Tomorrow, heavy storms are expected around 2 p.m. and it'll be 82 degrees. Friday, it's going to be 80 degrees. We have a 30% chance of rain. Saturday, more rain is on the way, but we'll have a high of 76 and a low of 84.
And for our community calendar, attention seniors. Tomorrow morning, the Office of Emergency Management's Community Outreach Team is offering a sepsis awareness presentation. Sepsis is a life-threatening condition that occurs when the body's immune system overreacts to an infection, leading to organ damage. This presentation is from 10:15 to 11:15 at the Bowie Senior Center. For more information, you can contact 301-209-2300.
And that's a wrap for CTV News for now. Thanks so much for joining us.
We'll see you again tomorrow. Have a great night, everyone.